All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about educational technology, but not as just another thing on your massive to-do list. Think of it more like an exciting journey, a path to really innovate in your classroom and grow as a professional. So let's kick things off by tackling the one question that's probably on every teacher's mind. You know the feeling, right? We get all these incredible digital tools, but are they actually a superpower for learning? Or are they just a super distraction? This is the big dilemma, and we're going to unpack it together today. And look, it's a real tug of war, because the research shows both sides have a point. The promise? It's huge. We're talking better student achievement, deeper comprehension, and a real boost in motivation. But then there are the perils, and they are just as real. Those constant distractions, very valid privacy concerns, and the big one, making sure every student has equal access. So the real trick is finding that sweet spot where all that promise shines through. Okay, so to start this journey, every adventurer needs a good toolkit. So let's take a look at the essential gear, the kind of foundational tech that can really power up your classroom. First up, a powerhouse we all know, the Microsoft Suite. But let's think beyond just typing up a document. What if you used track changes in Word to give super specific feedback on writing, or had students co-authoring a research paper at the same time? You could even build interactive choose-your-own-adventure stories right inside of PowerPoint. These tools are an amazing foundation for both creating and collaborating. Next up, every digital classroom needs a command center, right? A home base. And that's exactly what a learning management system like Canvas is. It's what brings order to all that digital chaos. You can use tools like the Speed Grader to leave quick audio or video feedback, and use built-in rubrics so your grading is totally transparent for students. And this is where things get really cool, because creativity isn't just for art class anymore. With Adobe tools, your English students could design a professional-looking literary magazine, or your social studies class could create these compelling infographics about historical events. It's all about giving students new, really powerful ways to show you what they know, no matter what subject you teach. Now, for those moments when you or your students need to create something that looks amazing, but you need it like yesterday, that's where Canva comes in. It's got this huge library of templates and lets you collaborate in real time, which just makes design accessible for everybody. So students can go way beyond a standard essay and create these incredible visual arguments or digital portfolios so easily. And of course, we gotta talk about AI. But let's just strip away the hype for a second. In the classroom, think of AI as your super-powered assistant. It's a tool that can help you personalize learning for every single student and honestly save you a ton of time on planning and grading so you can focus on the part that really matters, the teaching. Okay, now this slide is so important because it answers that million-dollar question, how do I stop my students from, just cheating with AI? Well, the secret is all in how you design the assignment. If you focus on the process of learning, if you require collaboration, and if you hold them accountable for how they use AI, you can create work that's pretty much cheat-proof. All right, so we've got our toolkit, the gear is ready, but you know what? Having the tools is only half the story. Now we need a map. We have to shift our focus from just what tech we have to how we're strategically using it to actually improve learning. And lucky for us, the source material gives us exactly that, a framework to guide us. It's designed, just like the quote says, to give us insight into the practices that really truly have a greater impact on our students. It helps us cut through all the noise. So, meet the PICRAT Matrix. This right here, this is your map. It helps you look at any tech lesson along two key lines. First, let's look at the vertical side, PIC. This asks, what are the students doing with the tech? Are they just being passive consumers? Are they being interactive with it? Or are they using it to be creative? Then, the horizontal side, RAT, asks about your teaching. Is the tech just a simple replacement for an old tool? Is it amplifying the lesson, making it better? Or is it totally transforming it, doing something that was impossible before? So here's the bottom line. The whole point of this map is to move. We want to intentionally design lessons that shift away from that bottom left corner, where students are passive and tech is just a substitute, and push ourselves towards that top right corner, where students are creative and the technology is transforming what's possible in your classroom. So we've got the toolkit and we've got the map. The final piece of this puzzle is understanding the path itself. That clear, step-by-step ladder we can all climb on this journey to becoming masters of our craft. And here it is, a proficiency scale that lays out the entire journey, from level 0, not using, all the way up to level 4, innovating. And listen, this is not about judging anyone. It's simply about seeing where you are right now, and more importantly, seeing that there's a clear path forward to where you want to go. Let's break it down real quick.
Beginning? That's like using a digital worksheet instead of a paper one. A simple swap. Developing is when you give them a cool tool, but maybe you're not checking yet to see if it's really making a difference. But the real game changer is applying. That's when you assign a creative project and you actively watch to see how it's affecting student performance. And innovating? Well, that's when you're tailoring tools for specific students and you've got the evidence to prove it works.
And that brings us to the most important part of all. The end of our time here is really just the beginning of your own adventure. So what's your next move going to be?
If you take just one thing away today, please let it be this. True proficiency, that level 3 sweet spot, isn't about using more bells and whistles. It's about understanding the impact of the tools you use. It's about constantly asking, is this actually helping my students learn? And knowing how to find the answer.
Because at the end of the day, the proof is in what our students are doing. When you see them collaborating online, creating and sharing amazing original work, using tech to solve real problems, that's when you know you're on the right track. That is the real sign of success.
So now you have the toolkit full of powerful gear and you've got the map to guide your strategy. The only question left is, what's your next move? Where does your adventure begin?